Hi everyone, and welcome to your weekly Pick a Card Tarot readings for the week of November 28th. If we haven't met, my name is Sydney, I'm the tarot guy next door, and I use my occult knowledge and intuition to help guide you towards the life you want. If that sounds like something you're into, make sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell so you're always up to date on the advice that the cards have for you. I'll be doing 5-card open readings, and here are the decks that I have for you. We have the Borderless Rider-Waite-Smith with Lapis Lazuli, the Tarot de Marseille with Amethyst, and the Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot with Dangling Jade. We also have 4 different oracle cards to choose from 4 different decks. So go ahead and pick which tarot deck and which oracle card resonate with you the most. It's totally fine if you're drawn to more than one. You might have a combination, and you can pause this video if you need more time. As always with collective readings, take what resonates with you and leave aside what doesn't. If you want to jump to your reading, the timestamps are right below. And with that, let's go right to the readings. Alright, Group 1, let's see what we have for you for this week. I'm going to throw down all 5 cards. Interesting. Let me just make sure this is framed right for you. This should be good. Beautiful. Okay, Group 1, your reading is actually pretty straightforward, but there are 2 ways to interpret it. There are 2 ways to interpret it depending on how this 4 of Wands at the bottom of your deck comes into play. But the crux of this reading is there's something that you're holding on to that you need to let go of. And I would encourage you to take this week as an opportunity to either make progress towards that or to really dig that in. I think that is the central theme for you this week. Actually, that's not entirely true. The central theme is the defensiveness that comes from it. The real crux that I was hinting at comes from the devil here at the bottom of your cross. I'll give the caveat that I give every time this devil comes up. The chains on these people's necks are loose fitting. They could take these chains off and walk away at any time. However, I think that the whatever it is that you are holding on to at your disservice is causing a lack of clarity, a stalling of moving forward towards a goal, or a stalling in an opportunity that you have the potential to open up for you, and it's causing feelings of defensiveness. What I would scratch what I was going to say. Let's talk about this 4 of Wands at the bottom of your deck, because there are 2 main ways that it can come into play. And since this is a collective reading, there might be people from either side of this. The 4 of Wands might be some recent achievement that you've reached that you're using as an excuse to keep holding on tightly to whatever it is that you are chained to, whatever you're being tempted to hold on to. That could be one thing. Or it could be a lure to remind you that on the other side of walking away from this devil is a real celebration and an opportunity to achieve the stability that you seek. Yeah, that is pretty much what I have for you, Group 1. Thank you very much for trusting me. You can use the timestamps below to jump to your oracle card reading. I'll see you there. All right, Group 2, let's see what we have for you for this week. Gonna throw down all 5 of your cards. Interesting. Is this framed correctly for you? Yeah, that's good. You know what? I'm going to pull a couple clarification cards because there's a lot of group dynamics in play. The only card that doesn't depict a person is this 5 of Wands in the middle of your whole reading, which is obviously a clue in and of itself. But first of all, it would be really funny if I pulled 2 more court cards, but I am going to do that. Yeah, okay. Let me just frame that for you. Yeah, that works. Group 2, you're being invited to call people out on their bullshit. What's making me say this is, we obviously have the devil here, and the Five of Wands in the middle of your reading is a clear indication of change, but I feel that with the Hermit walking towards this change and the King of Wands sitting at the top of this whole reading, that you're basically being invited to bring about the change. I think there are people around you, or someone in particular around you, who's really going to need you this week. And I think that the best way that you can be of service to this person is to act as a support mechanism, but also to be if there was one week to risk being blunt with someone who needs to hear something that you've kind of wanted to tell them for a while, I think that this week is an opportune time to do so. And this is also reinforced by the Chariot at the bottom of your at the bottom of your deck here. So it's kind of like you're being invited to be the cavalry that rides in from over the hill to rescue the person or people who need it. That is, like, I don't think there's much that I can add to this reading without looping. Let me just make sure of something here. Yeah, sometimes tough love is required, and I think that you're being invited to be that for the person. Again, I can't help but I can't help but see this line here of the Hermit walking through the Five of Wands to the Devil to free these two people who are trapped by him. Also reinforced by the Page of Cups at the bottom of your deck. At the bottom of this cross. So yeah, I hope that was helpful. I hope that resonated, and you can use the timestamps in the description below to jump to your Oracle card reading. I will see you there. Oh, and by the way, if you also watch Group 1, this actually is a very interesting nuance that is being added. This is not contradictory at all. Just wanted to put that out there for those of you who are still watching. All right, Group 3, let's see what we have for you for this week. There's a card in particular that if you get it, I'm gonna flip out, but let us see. Oh, this is interesting. Okay. I won't say what the card is. Group 3, I have the feeling that you've undergone some kind of disruption. And I think that this week for you is a week to recalibrate, refocus, lick your proverbial wounds, and to put yourself in the position where you need to be in order to rebuild and recuperate. This really happy 10 of Cups in this reading, I can't help but read it as being in the past, given where it is in your cross and given everything else that's in your cross. I think that the thing to keep in mind is that it's great to have the memory of the happy times. However, when the happy times end, you need to give yourself the time to become the person. You need to give yourself some space. You can't just how can I say this? Okay, here's a better way to put it. Instead of for lack of a better phrase, desperately trying to regain whatever this 10 of Cups represents, I think that the better approach for you for this week is to use the experience that you gained and the lessons that you learned here in order to reorient yourself and ask yourself, what do I want to create from here? Which I'm nodding to this Empress reverse here. And the fact that it's reversed is a nod to the fact that, whatever you want to create from here, and now that you've experienced this bliss, whatever you want to create from here isn't something that you can just snap your fingers and create. And especially right now, it looks like, and it's understandable, like when, I don't know why the Garden of Eden myth is popping into mind, but I'm gonna roll with it. When Adam and Eve got kicked out of Eden, I can imagine how that must have sucked. And I can understand the frustration and anger and sadness and all that shit that they might have gone through. However, you can build your little paradise using the lessons of the paradise that you had before. But again, I think that the key thing for you, and this is a message that comes time and time again in tarot, is to be patient with yourself. Right now is a time to cope and to be there for yourself, and to if you haven't journaled in a while, this might be a good time to do that. But one thing is for sure, in the eternal cycle of highs and lows and peaks and lulls that life in general has, I think for you the best use of this week would be to try to center yourself, try to calm down, try to see what lessons that you've learned and how to process those in order to move forward from here. And it might not have seemed like it, but I've completely ignored this magician at the bottom of your deck this entire reading. And now it's time to turn to this because the magician at the bottom of your deck is a huge message of hope and a reminder that whatever brought you to this point has put you in a position where you can really create something awesome for yourself. And try to remind yourself of that, even though it might not happen overnight, even though it might not happen right away. But the worst thing you could do for yourself for this week is to try to manifest it right away, to try to regain this glory right away. Just be patient with yourself and focus on healing and assessing what has happened, and then you can reorient yourself towards what you want to create from here. Yeah, that was a mic drop right there. So thank you very much for trusting me with this reading. If you don't want to watch me pick up your reading, you can use the timestamp to jump ahead a couple seconds. All right, let's see what we have for the Oracle card portion of this video. This looks good. All right, Group A, your card is love. Awesome. Listen, I feel like I've pulled this card fairly often in recent times, and just remember that love is something that is given and received, and love also includes love for yourself. Try to focus on how you can be the most loving person for this week, for yourself and for others, and to also keep in mind that you're worthy of being loved. Never lose sight of that, Group A. Group B, your Egyptian god is Heka, with a message of alchemical force. So I think that for you, and this is very fitting for actually all three of these readings, it's really funny how the alchemical force fits in. Try to, the ancient myth of alchemy, I don't know shit about alchemy beyond this, so is the whole thing about the Philosopher's Stone and turning lead into gold. Try to see how, for this week, I think for this week, it would be a good opportunity for you to survey the land, the proverbial land, to find all the things that you thought were useless pieces of lead, and to see how you can turn them into gold, and to try to be that force that changes the worthless lead into precious, valuable gold. You can be that force and try to orient yourself towards ways to put yourself in that position, Group B. Group C, your card is a change in the wind. This is a very good omen, I must say. Let me just absorb this card here. Give me a second. The thing I was trying to understand is what the fuck is up with this zebra? I still don't know. There might be some mythology behind zebras that I'm not aware of. But one thing is for sure, I think that this card is a good omen that there might be some opportunity coming for you. If there's something that you've been waiting for or hoping for, this week might provide some kind of change that I would invite you to be on the lookout for so you can capitalize on it when it arrives. And finally, Group D, your card is the Abysmal. This is I Ching hexagram number 29. And the key words are danger, insecurity, overwhelm, unpredictability, hazardous conditions, dark emotions, facing fear, and courage. Listen, shit happens, and it's important to remember that when you're driving your car and those lights, the check engine light comes on, that's a good thing. It might spur feelings of anxiety in the short term, especially if you, I'm gonna stick with this check engine light metaphor, just warning you. Especially if you're strapped for cash, and even getting an evaluation from a mechanic might require dipping into funds that you didn't want to dip into, etc. To just remember that if it wasn't for that check engine light is there to serve you. It is there to avoid you, having your engine suddenly die on you when you need it most. And I think that it's important to use these moments to just take your to not beat yourself up if you're feeling overwhelmed or if you're feeling insecure or uncertain. If you pick this card, I think that you can take that as a good sign that you were kind of onto something, and to just be easy and gentle with yourself for this week, Group D, basically. And it's funny how that fits into the 3 readings that I gave. But regardless of that, thank you very much for watching. If your reading resonated with you, it would really help me out if you could give this video a like. And I really hope you have the best week. The energy for this week, based on the readings that I gave, is very interesting. I hope that I have served you in navigating the week that is ahead. So on that note, thank you very much for watching, and you take care. I'll see you soon.